Hello, it is Wednesday, March 16th, 2022, and it is National Panda Day. This weekend I'll be wrestling Matt Grant at Crossby Pro Wrestling on Saturday, March 19th, 2022 in Cambridge, Ontario. There is also a showcase show Friday, March 18th that I'm sure will be live streamed on Twitch, but also available on YouTube within 24 hours. And now, time for some fun facts, birthdays, and what was the number one song on this day in 1993. But before that, thank you as always to the websites nationaldaycalendar.com, onthisday.com, and mybirthdayhits.com. Also, follow me at Holden Pro on Twitter and Instagram, Brendan Caulfield on Facebook, but most importantly, patreon.com/BrendanC. Join the Acolytes Ball Break, exclusive merch, content, shoutouts, and Zoom events. All tiers get listed in the credits at the end of videos, but meal tiers and higher get shoutouts. So thank you, Skimpy, Uncle Bobby B, Tommy Richardson, Morgan and Mama Thomas, Brian the Pizza Man Watson, Eric Thomas, and Rob Arbick. It is National Panda Day. On March 16th, National Panda Day draws attention to one of the world's unique bears. Pandas are also one of the world's most endangered and adored animals. Conservationists and animal lovers alike spread the word about increasing efforts of the international community dedicated to protecting and restoring habitat. Native to China, giant pandas are members of the bear Ursidae family. Their rapidly shrinking habitat is a major cause for concern. As an endangered species, successful panda breeding programs are rare. In the wild, there are approximately only 1,864, according to the World Wild Fund for Nature, and 100 living in zoos around the world. With their white face and black eyes and body, panda bears are easily identifiable. However, their black and white coloring was designed for their natural habitat. They disappear into the snowy mountains and temperate forests of southwest China, and despite their sweet disposition, they tend to isolate themselves in the wild. They eat mostly plants and do not hibernate in the winter like many other bears. How to observe National Panda Day? Share your love for pandas. You can do that by learning more about them and supporting panda sanctuaries, promote ways to protect their shrinking habitats, support breeding and research programs, watch a documentary about pandas. Director Liu Qian filmed Born in China. It follows not only a panda family, but also golden savvy monkeys and the snow leopard. Drew Feldman and David Douglas direct Pandas. Researchers from the Chengdu Research Base for Giant Panda Breeding seek to take the program to a whole new level. Actress Kristen Bell narrates. Use hashtag National Panda Day on social media. National Panda Day history, nationalday.com continues to research the origins of this wildlife holiday. Panda frequently asked questions. Do pandas only eat bamboo? No. Panda bears also forage for certain kinds of vegetables and grains. They will also eat eggs and small animals like carnivores do. Perhaps the most surprising thing they eat is carrion. I didn't know they ate animals. I guess they're fucking bears. Why the fuck wouldn't they eat animals? But do pandas have thumbs? No, but they do have an enlarged wrist bone that functions much like a thumb. Do pandas climb trees? Yes, they also swim. Didn't know that. Question, do pandas hibernate? Unlike other bears, pandas do not hibernate. There are over 1,500 national holidays. Don't miss a single one. Celebrate every day with nationaldaycalendar.com. Actually, also, bullshit. Today is March 16th, which in the calendar, at least in North America, is 3-16, which means, by God Almighty, oh hell yeah, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. And I would recommend celebrating Stone Cold Steve Austin Day by picking up Austin 316 facts and stories about Stone Cold Steve Austin. See, a little fun fact, I actually have this signed, and not by Stone Cold, not by the author Michael McKinney, but from Kingdom James, Kingdom James signed it, because he fucking drew some doodles in here. So, that's a Kingdom drawing. There's a few more in here. I should have bookmarked it, but it's Austin throwing the title off the bridge. How cool is it that fucking Kingdom, was in a WWE book, let alone a Stone Cold book, because Stone Cold's my dude. Like, that's my guy. You can pick it up. I'm pretty sure Kingdom might still have a couple copies on his website. I gave a few of them away last year on the Patreon, so celebrate 316 Day by either celebrating Pandas or Stone Cold. March 16th, celebrated and not so celebrated history. In the year 597 BC, Babylonians captured Jerusalem, replaced Jehoiakim with Zedekiah as king. In 1527, the Battle of Kuana, the Mongol Empire Babur defeats Rajput forces led by Rana Sanga, consolidating the Mongol power. In 1660, English Long Parliament disbands. In 1792, King Gustav III of Sweden is shot by Count Jacob Johann Ankarstorm at a mass ball at the opera. He dies on March 29th. In 1802, President Thomas Jefferson signs a Military Peace Establishment Act establishing the Army Corps of Engineers and the United States Military Academy known as West Point. In 1827, editors Samuel E. Cornish and John B. Rusrum published the first issue of Freedom's Journal in New York City. The newspaper is the first in the United States owned and operated by African Americans. That's cool. In 1850, Ticknor, Reed, and Fields publishes Nathaniel Hawthorne's historical fiction set in colonial America, The Scarlet Letter. In 1850, sorry, I just read that one. In 1867, the first publication of an article by Joseph Lister outlining the discovery of antiseptic surgery in The Lancet. In 1916, U.S. and Canada sign a migratory bird treaty. In 1926, it is rocket science. Robert Goddard launched the first liquid-fueled rocket in the United States. The launch took place in a field in Auburn, Massachusetts. Goddard's experiment led to modern rocket propulsion that makes spaceflight possible, and that's why NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, is named in his honor. In 1934, the 6 Academy Awards Cavalcade and its director Frank Lloyd Charles Longton, The Private Life of Henry VIII, and Katharine Hepburn, Morning Glory, win. Host Will Rogers announces, "Come and get it, Frank," and Frank Capra gets up. In 1935, Adolf Hitler orders German rearmament in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. In 1955, NHL president Clarence Campbell suspends Montreal Canadiens superstar Maurice "Rocket" Richard for the remainder of the season after he viciously attacked an opponent. Riots ensued in Montreal. And then in 1996, so like 41 years later, the Montreal Canadiens' first game in their new arena, the Bell Center. In 2021, declassified U.S. intelligence report says Russian President Vladimir Putin authorized efforts to aid the re-election of Donald Trump. In 2021, gunman shoots and kills 8 people at 3 different spots in Atlanta, Georgia, which sparked a whole bunch of representation and safety concerns for the Asian community. That was a year ago. Wow. March 16th celebrated and not so celebrated birthdays. In the year 1751, James Madison, considered the father of the Constitution. James Madison served 2 terms from 1809 to 1817. During his terms, tension between the French and British increased over trade. By 1812, the country was at war, one that destroyed the wreaked havoc on the new capital for most of Madison's second term. 4th U.S. president, born in Port Conway, Virginia, he died in 1836. In 1774, Matthew Flinders, English navigator and cartographer who was first to circumnavigate Australia, is born in Donington, England. He dies in 1814. In 1799, Anna Atkins, an English botanist, photographer, and the first person to publish a book illustrated with photographic images, is born in Tonbridge, England. She dies in 1871. In 1846, Rebecca Cole, Dr. Rebecca Cole, the second African-American woman to earn her medical degree, graduated from the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania in 1867. She gained further experience at the Infirmary for Women and Children in New York, established by Elizabeth Blackwell. Cole's career would span 50 years, serving as an advocate and a champion for her community. In 1846, Georges Bylins, between 1864 and 1904, Tsarist Russian ruled most of Lithuania when the government attempted to eradicate the Lithuanian language and instituted a press ban to force Lithuanians to assimilate to the Russian language. Georges Bylins and others like him stepped in. Bylins organized a network of smugglers who brought books, newspaper, and other periodicals in the Lithuanian language across the border. Today, Lithuania celebrates March 16th, a day of the book smugglers, in his honor. That's a cool fucking day, Day of the Book Smugglers? Ooh. In 1912, Patricia Ryan Nixon, the 39th First Lady, took on the role when Richard Nixon took the oath of the office on January 20th, 1969. She is in good company as the 4th of 6 educators among the First Ladies. In 1926, Jerry Lewis, the king of comedy, kept audiences laughing for more than 8 decades. In the 1950s, Lewis began raising money for muscular dystrophy, got it, figured it out. The event grew into an annual television event known as the MDA Labor Day Telethon. He hosted the television event for 44 years. Born Joseph Levitt, he born in Newark, New Jersey. He died in 2017. In 1927, Vladimir Komarov, in October 1964, the Soviet test pilot and cosmonaut, commanded the first space flight to carry multiple crew members, the Voskhod 1. Komarov died tragically on April 24, 1967, during his second mission aboard the Soyuz 1 upon re-entry when the spacecraft's parachute failed to deploy. He is the first casualty of space exploration. Rest in peace, Vlad. In 1928, oh, this is going to be a hard one. This name is going to be fucking hard. Wakanohana Kanji I, a Japanese sumo wrestler, the 45th Yokozuna 10-time top division champion, born in Hirosaki, Japan. He died in 2010. At least he had a long life. 30, so 70 plus 10. So like 82. That's a long-ass life, especially for a sumo wrestler. In 1941, Bernardo Bortolucci, an Italian director known for Last Tango in Paris, The Last Emperor, is born in Parma, Emilia-Romagna, Italy. He dies in 2018. Bobby B, I apologize for butchering that. In 1942, Roger Crozer, a Canadian ice hockey goaltender, is born. He dies in 1996. In 1948, C. Vivian Stringer. For more than a quarter of a century, C. Vivian Stringer made 17 NCAA tournament visits as the Rutgers Scarlet Knights women's basketball head coach. In 1959, Flavor Flav, born William Drayton Jr., an American rapper and a reality TV star, known from Public Enemy and A Shot of Love. Not Taylor Swift was A Shot of Love. He had I Love Flav. I think that was the name of the show. He is born in Roosevelt, New York. So this motherfucker's still around. Well, he's only like 6 years older than my mom. My mom just turned 57, so 63. Same age as Scott Hall. But Flavor Flav! And in 1963, Kevin Smith, not that Kevin Smith, not Silent Bob Kevin Smith, but Kevin Smith, a New Zealand actor known for Ares Hercules, is born in Auckland, New Zealand. He dies in 2002. He did not have a long life. 3, 7, 2, so like 39 he died. Oh, that's unfortunate. In 1971, Greg Johnson, a Canadian NHL hockey center, from 94 to 2006, Detroit Red Wings, the National Predators captain, from 2002 to 06, and 2 other teams, born in Thunder Bay, Ontario. He dies in 2019, another kind of short life. In 1973, Zeph Eisenberg, the British ultra-speed racer, world's fastest motorbike on sand, 201.5 miles per hour, fastest wheel power vehicle at 210.33 miles per hour, and founder Maximuscle is born in London, England. He dies in 2020. And in 1986, Ken Doane, also known as Kenny from the Spirit Squad, an American professional wrestler, is born. Fun Kenny story. So Kenny and Mickie James were engaged at one point. I'm pretty sure they met in like developmental, like OVW. And there was a WWE house show live event in Barrie, and on the way back on an en route, my dad's like, wait, let me see your program, because he went inside to grab a coffee, which, by the way, slight coffee break. My dad went inside to grab a coffee, and then he's like, wait a minute, let me see your program. And he pointed out Kenny and Mickie James were having like a wrap or something from Wendy's at the en route, and I ended up getting their autographs that day. Like, I was waiting for them to finish their food, and then they signed the autographs for me. That was kind of fun. And that's all for the birthdays today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Goodbye. Deaths that have occurred on March 16th throughout history. In 1909, George Thorndike Angell, an American lawyer and advocate for the humane treatment of animals, the ASPCA, dies at 85. In 1940, Selma Lagerlöf, a Swedish writer and Nobel Prize laureate, dies at 81. In 1941, John Murray, a Canadian oceanographer, Challenger, dies at 73. In 1971, Thomas E. Dewey, the governor of New York and Republican presidential candidate in 44-48, dies of a heart attack at 68. A lot of 8s there. And in 1975, T-Bone Walker, blues guitarist, Funky Town, Well Done, dies at 64. Take me to Funky Town. I wonder if that's the song. And if so, 64 at 75, like, I feel like that song isn't that old. But in 1983, Arthur Godfrey, an American radio and TV host known for Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scout, dies at 79. And in 1985, Eddie Shore, a Canadian ice hockey player, dies of a lung infection at 82. In 1991, 7 members of Reba McEntire's band is killed in a plane crash. In 2016, Frank Sinatra Jr., an American singer and band leader, dies at 72, which I just listened to a podcast called Ridiculous Crimes, and they don't talk about death or like anything heavy, but they just talk about like weird crimes throughout history. And they talked about the kidnapping of Frank Sinatra Jr., who was 19 at the time. He's not a child. Very fun podcast. Recommend. And in 2021, a gunman shoots and kills 8 people at 3 different spots in Atlanta, Georgia. Unfortunate history. Rest easy, everybody who passed away March 16th. And lastly, if you were born on this day, well, on Tuesday, March 16, 1993, then Informer by Snow was the #1 song in the US on your birthday. The song went to #1 on March 13th, 1993, and stayed at the top of the charts for 7 goddamn weeks. Now, before we get into the song, let's get a couple breaths in. I'll do the first 2 with you. Remember, it's in through your nose and out through your mouth like a straw. So 1, 2, 3 in. And out. I'm going to hit you with another one. 1, 2, 3 in. and out. Now, get a few more breaths in there. If you're listening to the podcast on Patreon, the song's going to start playing. If you're watching the video on YouTube, thank you so much for watching it. This is the first week. I'm 3 for 3 on the uploads here. And tonight I'm actually going to do the research for as much as the rest of the week and hopefully next week and record tomorrow's before today. On the Patreon, you also get this as a Word document. But as always, you woke up this morning. You're already winning. 150,000 people died today. Or they just didn't wake up. Even if you fail to make progress today, you can still make progress tomorrow. You can be scared, you can be nervous, you can be uncertain, but show up anyways. That's how you will succeed. You can fucking do it. I believe in you. You got this. You got this. Remember to forgive your younger self, believe in your current self, and create your future self. Figure out your goals, figure out what that future self of you looks like, and you can fucking do it. And I hope you know that you made today a very special day by just being you. And there's no one in the whole world just like you. And low key, high key, every key, maybe even a senshi, I like you just the way you are. So thank you so much for your support. There's no one in the whole world like you. And I like that about you. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Just have fun, stay safe, stay healthy. I truly appreciate the opportunity to be on your pursuit of happiness. Thanks for your continued support on Patreon and spiritually watching this, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're getting this. Thank you so much. Have a good day, everybody. Stay safe.